Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming out for another edition of Deb Chanel's 48's World. This afternoon, we're going to be talking about the bold and the beautiful. And I know you're saying, well, Dow, what happened to yesterday's episode? Well, your girl was tied up trying to do some interviewing for other jobs and taking the fam out to grocery shopping and personal shopping, and I just had a lot to do, but I didn't forget about it. I had recorded it, and if you'd like me to talk about it, which I want to talk about it, why don't we just go right on into it, okay? This was on Monday the 14th of March, at 1:30. So the scene is set back where it falls back on Quinn and Deacon. Quinn is thinking that she's trying to convince Deacon in helping her protect herself by, trying to help him or enlist his help in helping her get rid of Liam. And Quinn is noticing that Deacon is still having a soft spot for her, and she's thinking about manipulating him or tricking him into helping her get rid of Liam. But did she not know who she was married to? Did she not know who she was messing with? Deacon is just as conniving and corrupt and can see through anything. He's very transparent when it comes to looking at other people's and their behaviors and their motives. So I really don't know what Quinn was thinking. That is her twin image, even though he's a male and she's a female. He has some of the same characteristics and attributes such as her, about getting even with people or trying to dismiss them in a violent way. So that they take a little break from them and they move on to Wyatt and Steffi. They are both in the president's office, which we would like to say her office at the moment, because we know Eric Forster gets antsy and then Riggs gets antsy, and they end up coming back trying to take the position. So that's why we're saying her right now position. So Wyatt gets, he's going like talking with her about, Liam still haven't contacted anybody. And of course, she's still going off, every chance she gets into letting him know, well, we still need to find Wyatt. We still need to focus on where he's at because this is just not like him. And of course, Wyatt is pretty much like trying to basically calm her down. Like, I understand what you're saying. Maybe we can look for him, but right now I really don't feel he's in danger in any way. So let's just go with the status quo. Let's give him still some time to reflect on everything and just see exactly what he's about, what he's going to do, when he's going to show up, all that kind of dynamic. So they go on, and he's thinking into himself that he forgot to call his dad. But no worries, he know his daddy want him, he's gonna summon him. So as soon as he completed that thought and expressing it to Steffi, it's kind of warm in here. It's Wednesday, the 15th at 1, and it's getting hot. I'm thinking I'm out there just turning off my heat, but the heat is not on at my house. But it just seems to be a little warm in here, so I might have to start either opening up my fans to full throttle or turning on the AC. And I really don't want to do that because that's gonna like run up the light bill and stuff. So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll process it through. But back to the stories. Wyatt gets a phone call from his dad. And of course, if anybody knows Bill Spencer, we know he has no time. He has no patience. He's just like, bam. If I say something, it's supposed to happen just like that quick. He don't have no time for no wishy-washy stuff, no indecisive people. He need people to be on point at all times, especially when you're dealing or interacting with him. So he's asking his son, where are you? Why are you not here? Did you forget what I said? And again, where are you? So he knows his dad is a little myth. So he pretty much say he's on his way over there to see him. So I'm thinking maybe a day or two had transpired, and he didn't go up to see his father or contact him in any way. So he knew the big wheel man had, summoned him, and he just pretty much told Steffi he had to get back with her because he has to go see what his old man is talking about. And he's pretty kind of scared at the same time. And he should be, because Bill is always, he's stubborn. He's abrasive with his tone and how he talks to people, especially when he wants them to do what he wants them to do. And he has no filter, and he pretty much is a bully, and he gets what he wants, and that's how he had risen to the top at his father's company. So basically, he's a junior because William used to be his dad, but his dad died. Long whole thing of drawn out thing about Spencer's publication. So we don't go that far. I'm just saying you might have to catch up on your own if you want to know who Bill Spencer's father was before he took over the reins of his father's company and pretty much stole it from his sister, which is Caroline's mother. Okay. And, then before Wyatt leaves, he basically explains to Steffi that, maybe his father's coming around and seeing that he put the wrong brother in charge. Because he's always felt that way, and his mother feeded the fire of that theory to pretty much where it was solidified that his daddy liked Wyatt. Well, his daddy liked Liam better than he did him. So it kind of is opening up a can of worms, but him and Bill discuss it as he enter into another relationship or dimensional relationship. So he'll find that out when he gets over to his father's office a little bit later on in the scene. Okay, then the scene, okay, and then before he leaves, Thomas, Steffi's brother, walks in the office and he's looking for Quinn. So they're like, good luck with that, because we've been trying to contact her in the past few days ourselves, and she's been like non-existent. She pretty much returns phone calls when she deems it's necessary, and not necessarily that she's calling you back because you don't left her 1,001 messages. So he was asking Wyatt, has he seen his mom? Has he contacted his mom? Do he know his mom at? He's like, none of the above. But he pretty much kind of said, he was shit out of luck in a sense, and he needs to just continue to keep contacting her, as well as Steffi felt the same way. So it moves on to another scene when it goes back to Quinn and Deacon. And Liam is asking Deacon, is he staying for dinner? He's being the best host a person could be. He's kind of taking the role of a nurturer and a homemaker, which I don't know if that really ever fitted Liam, because he wasn't that much of a homemaker prior to him losing his image of who he was, as well as losing his memory. So he's more like, we say, the Susie homemaker. He's the Liam homemaker. So of course Deacon says no. He's pretty much on his way out the door, and he's thanking Liam for his hospitality and everything that went on between the whole time he was there. Then Quinn is like looking at him as he's trying to leave and motioning to him that, look, you owe me, So if anybody was watching them as they got to know each other through the stories, they met in an awkward, strange way anyway. Kind of tumultuous in a sense, that whole relationship, even when they called themselves falling in love with one another. And really it was just hot, passionate love that they were in. They were just heated, as two creatures are when they're feeling romantic and they're feeling like they want to have sex. That's pretty much the gist of it. Neither one of them need to be married, and if it was a perfect union, it should have been them, because they're so much alike. But sometimes being alike can cause problems as well. So owe me, you owe me. And my computer stopped freezing up. Okay, but she was basically saying, you owe me, you owe me. You owe me this happy ending, because you promised to love and cherish me and do right by me and da 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 da. And it all ended up in what do you call it? A fire, flame of fire. And that's pretty much how their relationship started and ended. It was just like a fireball. So, and he kind of felt guilty because he did make her life crummy. He didn't really treat her like a wife. And I'm pretty much like, he kind of treated you like you served yourself up to be. You wasn't saying you were anything like on Brooks caliber, or who else did he mess with? I can't remember at this time, but he's had other loves other than Brooke. But it just depends on your personality and your character. He treats you the way he feels fitting. So if he saw you in a slutty, offensive type manner, then he pretty much is going to treat you as such, because you're not demanding anything better. And you think, being Susie Homemaker, or just being likable in a sense where you all marshmallow of that, you think that particular woman don't have any backbone. But it just goes to show that's why he treated you the way he treated you, even though he feels he was capable of loving you, and he thought he loved you the best way he knew how. So I don't understand where that conversation really came from. But she's stressing the point to him that, yeah, you owe me, and if we need to get rid of this little situation, such as Liam, you're going to help me, and you're going to help me and be liking the whole ordeal of it. So then it moves on to finally Wyatt and Bill. Of course, Bill is regrettably waiting on him, and kind of discuss it at the same time. And Wyatt, when he approaches the office and he opens up the door and walks in, he's still like being real close to the door, because he knows his daddy doesn't take no more than, let's say, 30 seconds to letting him know what he wanted, and then there's no reason for him to be there any longer. So he was pretty much like, "Now I'm going to stay by this door because I know it's going to be quick, fast, in a hurry, and you're going to dismiss me. So it's no sense of me coming really close to you or even having a seat, because that's just not the time frame that we ever spend with each other." So, Bill kind of took it, well, he was taken aback by why, Wyatt didn't get himself further on into the room, and pretty much having a seat, because he's going to offer him a drink and this, that, and the other. Just try to figure out where his head is at. But, Wyatt was like, "I ain't playing that, are you asking me in? Are we going to really have a conversation that's going to last 30 minutes or more? Or, what is this about? Because, I don't want to hear that, I'm this, that, and the other. I'm, being mean spirited to my brother, and da 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 da, even though he's younger than me, and you giving him all kinds of power and prestige. But little old me, I had to solidify myself in the jury business. I'm well known, and I done created a following and a good clientele, and but I had to work, from scratch and build my way up. But Liam is being handed everything, and yes, I still have a little bit of animosity towards that dad. Yes, I do. But anyway, he walks on in. Dad greets him, tell him come on in so they can discuss business. And the whole thing is pretty much what he kind of speculated. And Bill just pretty much put it out on a platter for him and told him yes. He was saying he pretty much had given Liam everything. Only reasoning he was doing that was because Wyatt had at least one parent in his life. Liam did not have both parents in his life. He had a father absent from his life, and the mother did not actually invite Bill into his life because she never told him about him. So that, and then his mother died real early on in life, and only reason why he came into being, that Bill Spencer knew of him as being his son, was through Hope. She met Liam place. I can't really go back that far because I can't even remember it, because I had took a break from the soap operas or Bold and the Beautiful. So, but it was an indication where Hope, Brooke's daughter, had met up with him in some way, and she got attracted to him. He got attracted to her, and they became friends. And just certain things he would say and do reminded her of Bill Spencer, because at the time her mother was dating Bill Spencer. And just a lot of similarities that was just like, no, he didn't know who his father was. He knew he was on the West Coast from what his mother would tell him, but the two never entangled. She pretty much felt that she was a model at the time, and Liam's mom, and she just didn't have time to even really go back. She made a significant amount of money to take care of both of them. He didn't live a sheltered life like in poverty or anything. He had what he needed to have, and he had a firm background, and he was surrounded by love. He just never got a chance to know his dad. But how fate would play it. Hope was a big intricate part in having him come back in his father's life and reintroduce him. And like I said, that was the first child that he found out prior to Wyatt coming into his life, which was his oldest son. And it pretty much happened the same way. Hope was doing her thing, going on. She ran up on Wyatt, who happens to be camping on the same cabin grounds that her family owned. So he was like being a little squatter, but he was just really, hiking his way through, I guess, California in some sense, just taking a break, and they ran up on each other, and of course opposites attracted. He fell in love with Hope, she fell in love with him, and that's pretty much how she brought him back. Then again, she did the same thing, out little things, this, that, and the other, and found out it was another connection. He didn't know his father. His mother didn't talk much about his father. His mother was very, she really did. She came from a family that had some significant amount of money, but not on the scale where it would call her a millionaire, or her family were millionaires. So it's pretty much she had to form out or carve out her own niche and become her own self-made woman, and very respectable in the jewelry industry. So it was more so both mothers were very in tune to their talents and their abilities, and they made a well-established type of financial background for their not siblings, but their offspring. So they weren't in poverty by no stretch of the imagination. I guess you can call them middle, three different class status. You have the middle class, you have the wealthy, and you have the poor. They were more so in the middle class stage, going towards being considered the upper echelon or elite people, but they weren't quite at that status yet, but they were well known. And that's pretty much how that went, but not getting too far off from the story at hand. That's what Bill's basic reasoning of why he over Wyatt, because Liam didn't really have that father figure, and he didn't have that mother pushing and driving him to be a success and succeed in the business industry. So it was almost like a woman nurturing another woman to be true to herself, be a nurturer for her children, provide for them, and this, that, and the other. So Liam's mother really didn't give him that roughness and toughness and mean-spiritedness when you're just dealing with businessmen. But still, having some type of a heart and compassion for others. But, more so one will win out more than the other, meaning good will take the second seat when you're in the business world, and you got to show more of your mean side and your destructive decisiveness side when it comes to business dealing. So Liam didn't possess any of that, which Wyatt, from Quinn's teaching, she taught him how to go and conduct business and be cutthroat and get to that bottom line number where it's going to look better for you than the company. And having your talents being brought out to the forefront so they can pay you for it and respect you, and you can still building your own brand, but then assisting another organization with building theirs. But knowing that you're number one and you come first. So it was pretty much shut the door. And it was more of that, and he wanted to teach Liam that go-getter mentality, successful type of persona you have to have and deal in the business industry that Quinn taught Wyatt. But Liam had no one to teach him that facet of the business world. So that's why he wanted to take Liam under his wing to try to teach him that. But all of his teaching, all of his giving more to one son than the other, it didn't really teach him anything because he's still indecisive. He's still a whiner, and he's still going to do what he want to do, and it's gonna always lean to the good side. So if you had to rank Wyatt and Liam, you would rank Wyatt more on the higher end where he's going to succeed through any means necessary, just as long as he comes out the winner. And that's right in line to what Bill Spencer needs and wants and desires to have whoever's going to succeed him in his business. And Liam is more on, no, I got to think about humanity. Oh, I got to think about that next person being affected. You know, he's more well-rounded person when it comes to humanity and philanthropy type of stuff, such as myself. You know, he's always thinking about the good of the human race and making a better place to leave for our children and their children's children, and just being the example, the epitome of morality and values at its best. So that's pretty much where it was. And he was like, I can't have that running my company. Following Liam's perspectives and the decisions he makes, he'll have my company in the sewer, and we'll all be broke. And I just can't have that. So I need to adopt my other son up on over here. He needs to leave that other company, or what he calls the dollhouse, or the apparel shop, even though they're a multi-million dollar or billion dollar company, but they just more into fashion. And Bill's corporation or business is more on gossip stuff that hits the public. You know, he published articles. He's a big publishing company, you know, that deals and dabs and like a conglomerate where he just has a big pot of everything, a melting pot of every type of business or organization, hedge fund, all of this going on in one old big old pot. So he focused on a lot of different entities where the Forrester family, who's he's in line with, cause just a fashion house. They deal in everything with apparel, shoes, glasses, or eyeglasses, wear like shades and stuff, clothing, shoes, anything dealing with apparel, they're on it, and they're like the cream of the cream family of that type of business aspect. And he ain't got no time for all that because he's more so a blue jean wearing, boot wearing kind of guy, you know. So he's more in that. He don't get up into all the dressy frills and follies that they have over at the Forrester Industry Company. So he's basically like, okay, you don't had your time over there. I need you over here where we are, and I need your business sense to be focused on this company. You don't spend all your time over there, and I know half of it was my fault because I didn't list you as my CEO or my right-hand man at the time. I was feeling your little brother only because of his background and what he needed, and he can't take it no more. He done did all he could for him. So now he's enlisting his son, his other son, his oldest son, to come on in the business because he really regrets that he didn't bring him in sooner. But now that he have him, he has him in his eyesight. He's ready for him, and he feels he's the better fit for the company. So he's pretty much offering him the opportunity to succeed him when he feels like he don't want to come into the office more. He want to spend more time, you know, developing himself on a personal note for his family. He's given a lot to his business world, and he just really want to see it kind of run on its own and letting his heirs take the reins for a while. So he just you know, they go around with, okay, what do you make? So just as a businessman, they ain't want to give the, you know, the information out for us who really want to know what he really was making, even though it's fictitious. But we can kind of understand that the role that he was in, that's a real role for somebody in reality. And I kind of wanted him to just go on and say, oh, I made about 80 grand or 100 grand, you know. But he did it the business way. He wrote it down on a piece of paper, and he slid it to his dad. And it seemed like his dad wanted to like laugh at it, you know, whatnot. And then his dad wrote his little figure on it, and he pushed it back to him and said, and Wyatt almost fell out his seat. But he also told his dad, Liam shows back up on the doorstep. if you are going to get rid of me, which I'm fine with that, but I need to have this in writing that I'm going to walk away with this salary as well. So he's going to pretty much give it to his son like that because he likes his business savvy and he knows anything can change at a drop of a hat. So he wants that written down, signed off on the lawyers and everything. So if it don't work out when Liam shows up, because he is coming back, Stephanie's gonna make sure of that. That he is not going to be on the losing end because he's really not going to have anything. But then, you know, how the soap operas work. And with him pretty much going to marry Steffi, or it appears that he's going to marry her in this instance. You know, they really could take him back. But I think it will be like a strain that he just up and left them, for going to work with his dad. And they really can't blame him, but then you have to look at it in a business aspect. Did you leave us in a worst time possible, when we needed you? Because you can't work for both entities, because that's a contract clause or a clause that they have in business, that you can't work for a competitor, which in a sense they're not really competitors because one is different than the other. They don't serve the same purpose, but I don't know. It could be some hidden agendas there and hidden contracts, amendments within their contracts to saying they can't do this, that, and that, do this or the other, or they'll risk being sued or whatnot. So moving on from there, Thomas and Steffi are in the president's office, which is considered her office, like I said. And Thomas is like, little sister, or they big sister. Yeah, he's their their brother, so older brother. So he's like, you might be able to fool Wyatt, but your heart and soul is still all about Liam. And with Liam not coming up dead nowhere, you're not having to have to mourn him, but in a sense you are mourning him because he's nowhere to be found. And you can't really heal from the situation, even though Quinn was texting those messages back to you that you were sending to Liam. Liam has no memory. He has no recollection. But you don't know that. But in your heart of hearts, you feel he's still alive out there somewhere. And he's being corrupted in some form or fashion, because he would have contacted somebody where somebody actually talked with him. I mean, a voice conversation and a phone conversation. And it's just not making sense. And really, you're the only one Stephanie is the only one that's talking about him, because the rest of them, like, whatever. Whenever he come back, he come back. But he's a big boy, let him roam as he feels or chooses. But, he's saying, like, look, you're saying that Wyatt, and the only reason why you're navigating towards him is because he's the only one that's they're showing us on TV that's really gunning for you. And even though he said he would never hurt you like Liam has done, and maybe previous other men have done, that's something false that he's telling you, because you never can say whether a person's going to hurt you intentionally or not intentionally, because that's their little scenario that may come a part of your life in some fashion or form, where you do get hurt by the person that says they're never going to hurt you. And it could be very innocently. And it could be a situation where they're holding out on you on certain information that you probably felt that you should have known, but they hid it from you. Then that's lying. And breaking that rule of never hurting you. It could be as insignificant of saying, you clean up the house or whatnot, and you're expecting when you come home everything's going to be clean and dinner's going to be made or whatnot, and then it doesn't. That's kind of upsetting you, if I just may put it in little terms. So it's kind of naive to think that anyone can say trivial things like that they'll never hurt you, when it is possible. So for her even believing in that myth of a myth of thinking that this person's never going to hurt you and leaving that and forming that in your mind is kind of like stupid and naive to think a person can be that on point with everything. So that's where we were with that. He was trying to pretty much elaborate that to get her to thinking that that's just not fair. No one can make those type of promises, and only the creator of life, Jesus Christ, in my favor, or what I believe in, can make those type of decisions, or the Lord himself, our Father in heaven. But each to his own when it comes to their religion, their beliefs. But what I'm saying, as another human being to another human being, and trying to dialogue the perspectives of each of us as we go along and interact with each other in life, that type of promise, that being never to be hurt, you can't really make. It's not yours to be making or saying that you can do that for another person. So, and you know, the fact that she can't really talk to Wyatt about, she does still have strong feelings for Liam, and she's not able to tell Wyatt that that's a problem as well, because, and that's a secret that she's keeping. Of course, she didn't tell him that she would ever lie to him or hurt him, but it was kind of implied by her actions that she focused to Wyatt on a daily basis. So she's being a little deceptive right there, because I didn't know in the world you should have taken a ring from him when you feel so strongly that Liam is out there somewhere, and he may come back in the picture. And again, all of his hiding out and not being there for you and for his family has been out of his control. However, you should have not taken a ring from anyone, especially not Wyatt, when you know you still have feelings for this other person and they're deemed to be necessarily still living in the world. And you have so many unanswered questions, and they can be answered, and they're forgivable because, you know, he didn't know and you didn't know. So it really was no infractions being made, just misperceptions. So then you go on to the next scene with Quinn and Deacon. Deacon is talking with Quinn, trying to get her to rationalize once again and let her know that, look, I am not going to commit murder one for you, because I can get electrocuted, or, you know, capital punishment can be brought against me if found guilty. And you know they're going to be looking at the two worst people that could have conspired together to get rid of an individual such as Liam. Okay? And I'm not finna do that. And don't play no games with me with regard to saying you still love me. It could still be a relationship between us and this, that, and the other and third. Because I don't believe it. Yes, I do care for you. Yes, I still have feelings for you. Yes, I want to get you back in the sack, bro, sister. But guess what? It all comes with a price. Now, if I'm going to do all of this, then it's like, okay, what about what's in it for me other than jail time? Because I'm out right now, I'm broke. I'm looking for people to give me another come up. Nobody likes me in this town. They definitely don't like you. And when we're put together, they know we're conspiring together against someone. So no, ma'am, I'm not gonna do it. I ain't finna even entertain this. Now, if anything, I'm gonna be the one to go tell the same people that don't like you, that don't like me, what you're up to, because I don't want to be put in a bad light, because I ain't going back to jail. And that he, you know, I was all there for him. I said, I'm there for you all day, every day, brother, because jail time with those little cute little outfits they be having people wear, that's not a good look. And then having your doors locked without your permission, where you can't come in or out. No, ma'am. No, sir. Can't do it. So she's pretty much still trying to seduce him in a sexier, sensual way. But, you know, Digger said, well, honey, I'll bed you all day long, you know, and that'll be good for both of us. But guess what? Not going to happen, because I don't like what's going to transpire from it at all. So then the scene moves to Wyatt and Bill. They're still negotiating. He's telling, well, the negotiation with the money transaction has already been solidified and set in stone. They both are in agreement that that's a hell of a money to be paying somebody, but both parties feel like they're worth it. So he's giving, pretty much, he's telling Wyatt the dynamics of the relationship that he needs Wyatt to follow. He wants him to be here in the daytime where he can shadow Bill, his father, doing negotiations and just how he conduct business on a daily basis. In between that time, he needs to follow up with Katie. He needs to shadow her throughout her day, or however she wants him to participate in her life, to understand her business um, experience and understanding what she does on a daily basis, to see how he can help her improve, or if not, give her advice on other issues of what she's controlling over their Spencer Publications. So he's giving him, pretty much in a nutshell, his job description and basically what he feels he needs to be doing, and until he can tie up his ends with Forster Creations and be 100% over there at Spencer Publications, regardless if Liam comes back. If Liam comes back or not, he doesn't matter. And of course, he's going to look for his son, because he's already thinking he's pretty much overdue anyway from his little hiatus he's taking. He needs to be back on the job. So in our perspective, maybe he's been gone for maybe a couple of months. And he needs to hear something from him, yay or nay, or at least that he's fine. Because right now, he ain't want to deal with Liam on a personal basis, because he know he's pretty much screwed up. He's not like him, and he ain't got time for that, because he got to run his business, and he's more in an active business mode now, and not on the whole trip about personal business and getting involved in that nature. So he's pretty much saying, okay, you're the point man now. These are your job descriptions, and I pretty much need you to get on board and handle business, and then follow back up with me about how everything has transpired with you being over there. Then the scene moves to Thomas and Steffi again, and Thomas is still wanting Steffi to acknowledge her feelings for Wyatt, in comparison to her feelings still she's having for Liam, because he doesn't think it's fair, and he thinks she needs to go after her heart and find Liam so she can get all the answers she wants. And if he's still wanting to be with her, they need to reconcile, go on and get married, and whatever, and let the chips fall where they may. Wyatt will get over it, because he definitely has gotten over the cousin, which was Ivy. I didn't remember her name before. It was at the tip of my tongue, but I was like, it couldn't be that strange name. But lo and behold, that's who it was, Ivy, Steffi's cousin, first cousin. And she went on back to Australia, from which she originally came from. But they were in need of another jury person. They thought about her and brought her over. Eric Forster brought her over, and that's how they got, because they had fired Quinn for some little rampage she had went on. It turned out to be such a mess, and they was just trying to get rid of both of them. But Hope was wanting them to still keep Wyatt, because he had no dealings with what his mother had did in a negative way to the company, as well as to herself and some members of the Forrester family. So they kept Liam, but they know he needed someone else to work with, and that's how Ivy came into play, by being brought into the Forrester Creation family, where we got a chance to view her on film. But of course, she called herself liking Liam first, such as Hope, such as Steffi. She just put herself in a triangle, Bermuda Triangle mess. So, and she ended up liking Wyatt as a second choice, but her heart still was going to Liam. And so it wasn't going to work either way, because I'm like Bill Spencer, the guy's just too wishy-washy. He wants to love everybody like he's Casanova somewhere, or Cupid's arrow, and you just can't play with people's feelings, even though he feels he's not playing with people's feelings. And not on the outside looking in, he's just seemed like, the good guy. It's hard to look at him as not being the good guy, or more so the villain. He just don't have those characteristics. And if these women are going to fall for him and his antics, then that's them, pretty much. But he doesn't do it on a malicious type of format. He's accepting, he's loving, and he's kind. He really does love all of them in their own different ways and personalities. But when it comes down to him making a firm decision, it seems like he always go with the one that's more solidified in the community and in the town that he's living, and the one that has the most money. and prestige and power in the town he's living in. And they always tend to focus back to Steffi. But anyway, that is neither here nor there, because if they really got down to it, Steffi's father, which is Rich Forrester, is really not a Forrester. He's a Massimo. I forget Massimo's last name, but he's a big tycoon too. But it's not in fashion. It's in really I think it's oil and the shipping industry. And that's where he's made his billions. But he's not a Forrester. So Stephanie is not a Forrester. So it just has as many different dimensions of their family background and how they intertwine with who they call family, who they made family. So it's too deep. It gives me a headache sometimes. But anyway, they always seem to gravitate back to being on the same or lining themselves with the Forrester clan, other than, any other millionaire, billionaire around there. So, that's pretty much it when it comes to that scene with Thomas trying to get, you know, Steffi to realize what's going on. But in her mind, she's just feeling like, I got to find Liam. I have to get my answers. I have to have him physically tell me that he don't want me no more. And then I'll go on by my business. I'll marry Wyatt. I'll try to be happy. Da 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 da. But we know how that ends up. So it goes back to Quinn and Deacon. And she's still, Deacon is still trying to convince her. He's not buying what she's selling. He's not going to be her patsy. He's not going to be her fall guy to helping her, get rid of Liam. He's reiterating to her again, look, you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do. Leave me out of it. But I'm telling you as a friend, as a former husband of yours and ally, you're barking up the wrong tree. Get rid of that boy. Take him back to his parents or his father and let them find out, because right now he's a psychological as a total mess when it comes to his memory. Not fair. Do the right thing. And little unbeknownst to Liam, his life is totally taken a nosedive because it's not his fault, and it's gonna be a big mess when he does come back and everybody find out the real truth of where he's been, who's been holding him up. And it's gonna be a rivalry between Liam as well as Wyatt as well as Bill Spencer, and I'm here for it. I'm waiting to see how Bill is going to pull out of this one, especially with all the incidents with Liam have come up false. He's been held hostage pretty much with the fact that he's lost his memory. But when you really get down and dirty with it, Liam is still going to be indecisive. And he's always going to let his personal life spill over to his business life, which is going to always be a mess. So I'm hoping that he stressed that point as well as I got finished stressing it to you all. He pretty much gives it to Liam that way. And let Liam go on and work over there with the the dollhouse and playing of the apparel, and because that's pretty much where he needs to be, because that's where his heart is, and he wants to be goody. So we'll see how that goes. But Quinn is still being deceptive, and she's telling Deacon, hey, with Wyatt being asked to work for his father at the company, she's getting what she wants for her son, because that's pretty much how it has always been. Because again, Quinn is solidified in the jewelry industry. A lot of people know about her, and she's already had her come up with Forrester Creations family, and they've welcomed her back only because again, Steffi is a Forrester, and he's trying to marry a Forrester, and Wyatt has done only good things for the company when it comes to that aspect. He's made them money, not decrease it in any way. So, Quinn is just, she's happy about everything, that her plan has worked thus far. But we know Quinn plan has a way of unraveling, and it's going to be a hot mess, and a lot of feelings are going to be hurt. She's going to probably be ran out of town, forget the same asylum or any behavior treatments and counseling for her, because she's not crazy. This is just her demeanor. She was born with it. She was raised up in it, in a sense, so she's formed who she wants to be, and that's totally the manipulative, conniving type of person she is. She can be lovable and acceptable, but she can't stay that way. So she's pretty much 95% bad, and only that other percent, which is 5, good. So you can say her whole demeanor is for the dark side. And if you get in her way, she's going to have to erase you. And she doesn't feel any sympathy or compassion or any concern about doing that to another individual. So she's just who she is. And Wyatt is basically letting Quinn know, because she calls him, and he's letting her know that he has went on to accept the position of running his dad's company and being a shadowing type person, to see just how the ins and outs of a day in the Spencer publication life is. And, he's just gonna be the one to take over his daddy's place when his daddy wants to loosen the reins or give up the reins. And she's very happy about that his business life is becoming to be solidified in an enormous positive money way, financial way. And then he has Steffi to be there for him as a wife and to breed more foster children and, live happily ever after. The only loose tie now is Liam. She don't want to have sex with him anymore. She don't want to have any more feelings for him, because at that time that was another one of her personalities that she was satisfying, which is that 5% we were talking about. Other than that, that woman's crazy, bad as a bed bug, and she's a psycho. And, the whole 9 yards, pretty much. So she's just saying, okay, everything's been, taken care of. Now she needs to get rid of Liam. And again, she's still trying to enlist, Deacon's help. So the scene goes to Steffi, and they doing a throwback moment with her and letting us see her image where she's thinking about Liam, romancing, reminiscing everything that they used to share that was special. And she comes up with the conclusion that no, she's going to find him. She's going to get her questions and answers answered from the horse's mouth, which is Liam. So then we go back to Deacon, Quinn, and Liam. Deacon is explaining to Liam that Quinn talks about him all the time, and he is glad she has found someone such as himself to love on her, care for her, and all that 9 yards. And she said, easy, yeah, I know, I love her too. I can't believe, I found such a pretty woman. I can't remember so many intricate details, but I'm loving her regardless, and this, that, and the other. And then her and Deacon were already talking about letting him, fall to his demise. But they really just start, well, I can say Quinn just started putting it into place. So she's basically like, okay, I think I'm going to not let you just walk around in the yard. I think you need a little bit more freedom. Let's go for a hike. And he's just hyped like a little child that, ain't been out in I don't know how long, or a dog that hadn't been out in a while, and they just get free when they set outside, and they just run, because they just can't believe all the outside and what it feels like, and who people they seeing, and this, that, and that, what they're hearing. It's a total different environment than being closed up in a house somewhere, or being closed up in an environment where you don't have that interaction with other people. So he's all happy about it. And she's like, yeah, she's envisioning it like, yeah, we're going to let you just go on and kill yourself. You're going to become unstable. You might even become dizzy. And we're just going to help you on over that, what do you call it, ridge or whatever. And you're just going to fall to your demise. So, in her head, she's pretty much, cooking the scheme up. And then he goes on back, to get her some wine or whatnot. And then he said, oh, meaning Deacon is like, oh, so you just gonna let him just die out there, just, and you don't think Steffi gonna try to figure out or come looking for him and all of that. And then he said, no ma'am, I don't know what you talking about, but you crazy. You on your own. Da 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 da. They goes back into, you know, him trying to get her to snap out of that fantasy, come back to reality, but it's not working, guys. Can't wait to watch it today. We'll be reviewing it, taking notes and stuff, and then put it back up online sometime tonight, so you will have it, you know, for your viewing before tomorrow comes in. So again, this was The Bold and the Beautiful, being broadcasted on Monday, March 14th at 1:30. I'm just giving it to you on the 15th, but please forgive me. I will have the other one up and about and, you know, ready for you to look at. So once you look at it, you can go on sleep. Oh, but anyway, we'll say your prayers and then go on to sleep. But it was my pleasure. I look forward to reviewing much more from The Bold and the Beautiful, at least until I get a job. And then I probably still will. I will do it. I'm committed. I'll just have to watch it when I come home from work, and then we'll do it that way. But peace, love you, be vigilant, stay blessed, and always be encouraged. Love you. Bye bye.